All right, after many tests, I'm finally ready to greet you in my humble abode. But really, mostly these videos are gonna be for me talking it out, sharing my insights, because I've discovered that as good as journaling is, it's kind of then hard to share it with other people, and it's a little bit slow, and it's just half the time it feels like a chore. So in the wonderful breakout sessions in the Combined Pearl and Activation Retreat presented by Jinki's guidance, I had a number of first struggles and then realizations that I think were haunting me for a while, but I didn't want to admit to them. That as a mental projector, really the thing, because what I want to do is, share my message. So first of all, Jinkies, a year of Jinkies, and I'm basking in bliss. Life is beautiful, everything is just so amazing, and I just want to bottle it and give it to people. So then I went on an exploration of how do I do that. So one-on-one programs and other initiatives are coming, but in the meantime, obviously share it with the wider collective. But anything I tried, like, it'll be fun for a day or two, but I would never have energy to do it consistently, and it just turn into another chore. And obviously, according to the Jinkies, if we're really true to our essence and let the divine will work through us, it should kind of be effortless. So I was looking for that effortless, especially contemplating the sphere of brand, which is all about the message and the voice, and how my particular Jinki configuration is supposed to really reach out and touch people. There was a deep contemplation with a lot of confusion, but a few things, like I said, I started to intuit, and then in today's breakout sessions with my wonderful partners, I was able to contemplate it more and arrived at some little bit scary conclusions. But since here I am doing it, fear is definitely, it's been for a while now. I realized it's usually I feel afraid of something, that's the direction of growth. So yes, as a mental projector, it's been a while since I realized that indeed it's when I talk to people, that's when the insights flow, conversation flows, I get all the energy I need. Like I don't need energy to go and talk to people, because I get energy when I start talking. And it's not even necessarily the one-on-one, obviously is a direct energy exchange, but even I found myself sending messages to my best friend, like a WhatsApp voice message, and a lot of the times I get so much insight for myself. So then exploring different social media messaging strategies, there was one where people said, oh, we'll just have somebody ask you questions. And I thought, oh, that's perfect for a projector. But there was this fear, the fear was that here I am, living by myself in the jungle, loving it. And first of all, when I first discovered it, I needed a soundboarding authority and I needed to talk to people. I had a big resistance towards it. And obviously, when I started to feel like, look, what's really effortless is me talking to people. I show up in my best, most emotive self. I get ideas. You can't shut me up. It's like, the thing is flowing. I really didn't want to be like, oh, but then I have to, what? Do I have to set up interviews with people? I have to be always talking to people. It seems like hard. But then that's exactly what happened today. It's not hard. If it's when I start talking to people, that's like the most favorite thing to do, and I want to be doing it forever. So it was just some sort of a mental block. The the hiding, the fear, the whatever it is. But as soon as I voiced it and I felt the fear in my stomach, it's like, oh, I'm actually afraid of like giving it a go and making it my thing. So obviously this is a little bit cheating because I'm not really talking to people. I'm not confined to a schedule, having to meet somebody at a certain time, which what if I don't feel like it, you know? There's a lot of still, but then the more I think logically about it, it shouldn't really matter, because even if I don't feel like it, as soon as I meet and start talking, that's when the feeling and the energy comes. So yeah, it's just processing it out loud. So this thing is, luckily I did buy a lapel microphone last year when I was working on another initiative. I never got around to using it. But now that this idea came, like especially after the breakout rooms, I was still on quite a social high. I was like, yes. And then I read the Jingi 43, so what was troubling me, my brand 43, going from the shadow of deafness to the gift of insight to the city of Epiphany, and the line 1 was really confusing. I have to speak to people's fears and making them feel secure, which I've touched on fear a little bit through my own journey, but it definitely didn't feel like the theme. I could definitely bring it into my life, you know, the adventure, etc. But still, I was struggling with it. I was struggling with it all through the breakout rooms. But then I read the Jinki's book, and everything unfolded in perfect making sense. And this is when I thought, yes, so instead of journaling my insights, I'm going to go and record it. Because it's me talking, it feels more natural. I'd like to learn and get more comfortable with talking. I'd like to show people how I live. This is like a subliminal message. Everybody has to move to the jungle. And also, like, you know, it's obvious when you're talking to another person, you know, the energy exchange, especially for a mental projector with, you know, 5 open centers. 2 open, 3 undefined. Yes, I really get a lot out of just being in connection with the other person. But if we're moving up the frequency bands, I'm thinking to myself, you know, and feeling into this whole, we're just all one consciousness. Why do I need a person? Can't I just speak to the consciousness? Speak to you? You know, speak to the stillness? So that's another thing I really wanted to experiment with. Like really feeling into you through the ether. Through love. I know. Also, I have another one of these on love. For some reason I have a slight issue with that word, even though I know we're redefining it as this connective tissue that is all that is. Somehow every time the word love is used, I have certain associations. But anyway, I veer off topic, as I plenty times would, I'm sure of it. Somebody really wants some attention. We have more guests on stage. So yes, the epiphanies of the brand of Epiphany. You ready for it? It's been 10 minutes. I think enough with the introduction. Yes, as I was reading the Jinki 43, it leaped at me, you know, because it said when the line 1, it said, well, look at the fear of your Jinki, see what it represents, and that is the fear you're sort of meant to speak to and alleviate in other people. And Jinki 43 is all about being a creative rebel and you know, being on the fringe of society, an outsider, but this is really like tapping into my individuality, you know, which I really, even I can't do. Like, as soon as I end up back in society, it's, you know, I get so media affected and stuff that I can't do society or first world for more than a week or two. So yes, and then the Jinky 43 was all about the fear of rejection. So people are brainwashed into the deaf to their own voice because they can't hear themselves because of the noise of the culture and society, all this noise that tells them exactly what they're supposed to do, how they're supposed to do it, which we all agree that's kind of like, society is quite a robotic existence. So the deafness is to your own voice because you're deafened by the imprinting and the noise of society. And the fear that stops you breaking free of it and actually embracing the gift of insight and your own inner hearing is the fear of rejection. The fear of rejection, being rejected by society. And so this is the epiphany, because I'm like, but this is it. I'm the perfect paragon. I am an outsider. I am a weirdo. I don't care. Like, I'm so proud of it. I'm so happy for it. Like, I'm the happiest person I know. And that's exactly what I want to bottle and like pass on to you. So it makes sense. Maybe I should have journaled it. Journaling kind of makes it a little bit more coherent. It makes sense that I need to show how I live. I need to show this pure bliss of existence outside of society, that there is nothing to be afraid of. And really, like, majority of people, if they listen to their inner insight, then, you know, you're not going to end up moving all the way out of society as far as possible. But since I have, and I can tell you this is like the best thing ever, and I can't do it even more. My retirement plan is to, like, this is at least the populated capital island. I'm moving to like the least inhabited island I can probably find as years goes on. But yeah, so here I am, happy as Larry, complete outcast out of society, don't fit in, considered weird. Oh, the crazy Russian, considered crazy, mad, all of those things. And thanks to this wonderful lapel microphone invention, I can start transmitting my happiness and my assuredness that if you follow your insight and your individual expression and whatever it is that you want to do that you feel is going to be judged and unaccepted by society, and maybe you will be rejected and ostracized, and oh my god, all the subliminal and primeval fears that come with that, they're null and void. Look them straight in the face and do it anyway. And this is going to be like, okay, this is what I'm going to be kind of talking about. Okay, I'm excited to like explore and contemplate out loud lots of other things, but now it makes sense. This is it. My brand, my message is, here I am, outside of society, and it's the best thing that I could ever wish for myself, and honestly anybody else listening, if you feel so inclined or inspired. Happy to share obviously about this kind of lifestyle. And look, I still have internet, and I still have water, and I still have all these other things. I mean, I could have gotten completely off the grid, and I kudos to those who do, but here it seemed much more of an effort and expense than actually staying minimally on the grid. But when everything shuts down, let me tell you, it's a completely different, awesome trip in and of itself. Next time we have a cyclone, I'll document my experience instead of like trying to recall it now. But it was one of the best things that ever happened to me when all the services suddenly got cut off for a month. So yes, let's see how this goes. I mean, so many things begin with like, oh, this is so much fun, and end within 2 days with like, I can't be bothered. But yeah, this, excuse the noise, but this is like, you know, it's the best thing. It's the best that I could do. I mean, I could sit in the dome over there, but it's not, you don't really get to appreciate the awesomeness of existence here with me in my living room. And more pets. Yeah, I'll definitely do a few more walkthroughs. I like doing walkthroughs. I could do walkthroughs of my place forever. What else? Yeah, sharing my insight, my gift of insight through speaking to your fear of possible rejection by society and telling you that there is nothing to be afraid of and there is everything to gain and embrace and live in endless peace and happiness. Somebody's calling me. It's so inconvenient, but I think it's still recording. I'm not gonna answer. Coffee, no! Coffee! I think it's a sign to end this recording since I've expressed my insight. Yeah, speaking of being a creative rebel, speaking to the fear of rejection by society, alleviating that fear and being a shining example of listening to my own insights, producing my own insights. It's like a meta thing, you know. I'm talking to have an insight, but that's my personal method of insight, you know. They also come through reading, contemplating, journaling. And not just for mental projectors, for a lot of other people in my experience, they do come from talking to other people. And yeah, the next step of evolution is actually reach out to people and invite them into conversations. Recorded conversations if possible. If not possible, then at least transcribe that I can pick and choose my own little bits of wisdom that I can then spread around the internet. And if you found this and you enjoyed it, and you have any suggestions about how else I can spread my message of get out of society and live happily ever after, and the wonderful wisdom of Jinkies, and I'll be sharing a lot more about, because they're the ones that, not the ones that took me out of society. This lifestyle has been here for a while, but they're the ones that really just cemented, like, this is it. This is the paradise on earth. I really could not wish for anything other than this life. So yeah, any suggestions are welcome. If you want to come on and let's have a conversation about whatever. It doesn't have to be Jinkies, just life. How's your life? What troubles in your life you have? Most welcome. And yeah, I look forward to producing more of this. Sorry, no post-producing. I don't know. Maybe I'll figure out a way to make a quick intro and outro. But otherwise, yeah, I'd rather just keep it casual and conversational and not make it a chore for myself. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening. Thank you for entertaining my first, probably very windy and very noisy attempt. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see the little hiccups and incoherences of speaking and how I will improve over time. Perfect, just on 20 minutes. See you soon.